when it comes to having a nursery in your backyard, whether you're on a very small scale like mine or a nursery that's much larger in scope, one of the things that you're going to have to figure out how to deal with is managing weeds. Now, that doesn't sound real exciting, and it doesn't usually make one of the top watched videos, you know, on somebody's nursery page, but weeds will drive you to the point of wanting to quit messing with plants if you can't figure out how to adequately manage them. So today, I'm going to be showing you how to build a completely weed-free nursery. Now, there's not any nursery that's ever 100% weed-free, but when I say weed-free, you're going to spend virtually no time dealing with weeds when you use this method. And what I'm going to do today is make a new area in my nursery, kind of a small area. I'm going to have to take down my kids' old rickety treehouse here to do this, but they don't play in their treehouse anymore, and this thing's not safe to play in anymore anyway. And the tree that's growing over it is about a third or a half dead. So it's just time to make some changes in the backyard nursery. So we decided to take this space and show you today how to make it weed free. So I'm excited to show you this today, and I hope there's something here for you to learn. If you're new to my channel, it's great to see you, and if you're not, it's great to see you again. But either way, I'm glad y'all are watching today. I'd love to have you like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notifications bell so you're aware when all of my new content comes out. There's always something new to learn here as I'm learning how to do all this myself, and I love sharing it and showing it to you guys. So come along with me if you will, be a subscriber, and that would be awesome. And now that we've got the area where the treehouse used to be cleaned out, we're going to take that area and we're going to cover it. But before we do, I just want to give you an idea here around me of what this material is that we have on the ground. It's called a woven ground cloth, and you can see it how it has these little lines that are marked on it just for reference point and for you to put pots down and to kind of keep things uniform in your nursery. But this ground cloth is a really unique product in that this is not plastic, and you have to understand that. You can't just go find a big roll of black plastic and put it down on the ground and expect to have weed-free results. That is not what this is at all. This woven ground cloth is exactly as it's described. It's woven, meaning that its fibers come together in a weave, and it makes it so water will drain right through it. So you can come out here on a day, say a day after it's rained the day before, and you can walk on this and your feet will feel the moisture from the ground, but water does not pond on top of this material. Instead, it drains through really, really well, and it does an outstanding job of keeping weeds at bay. Now, this is the area that we just cleaned off here, and this is just a giant piece of this woven ground cover that we're going to use and spread it out in this area. And when you buy this ground cover, it comes on a giant roll. Just think of a roll of aluminum foil or a roll of plastic wrap, but much, much larger. And for most applications, the wider of a roll that you can get your hands on, the better. Now, you can buy this stuff at somewhere like Lowe's or Home Depot or probably any home supply type of store in either a 3 or 4 foot roll, and that is totally good to buy it that way. I buy it as wide as I can get it. This is actually a small piece off of a 15-foot roll. We've got about here 12 or 15 feet square. So we're just going to make this fit, and we'll trim it as we need to, but the larger you can buy this, the better as far as the width of the rolls go. So you don't have to put strip after strip after strip. If you're working in a wide open space, say just an open area in your yard, like most of my nursery is, these wider strips are definitely the way to go. Here, I would even prefer to have some smaller strips to kind of work around this tree, and I'm working in a tighter area, but I'm going to make this work because I already have it. I bought it locally at a nursery supply place not too far from where I live. But again, this stuff can be found at your local box store more than likely, or I will include a link in the description below to this as well. And you can purchase a shippable size of it in the link below. Now I have begun spreading this out, and you use these staples. This is called a sod staple, just commonly found at a landscape place, your box stores. You can get them on Amazon. And you just nail these through, you just hammer these through your ground cloth. Just pretty simple to do. And just every few feet, you just put one of those in. And you may find that it's helpful to take the edges of this and kind of fold them under, you know, almost like you're putting a hem on some pants or something like that, and just staple all the way down and pull it tight as you go. And you're going to find out that this is going to cover your ground really, really well. When you hammer these in, you may find that it's easier or better to take that in there where it's been cut, because that's going to tend to try to come unraveled on you a little bit, and just fold it under an inch or two, or really however much you need to make your lines kind of straight here. And take your staple, just hammer it in. Pretty simple. Once it punches through, it should go right into your ground. And by the way, this is our new little chocolate lab puppy here. This is Penny. Guys, y'all meet Penny. Penny, can you say hello? Can you say hello, pretty puppy? Penny is 8 weeks old, and she is a curious little puppy. And she, of course, like any puppy, likes to come out and see what we're doing. So here I am putting ground cloth down today, making a YouTube video, having a good time in the backyard on a day when it's a little cooler, and Penny wanted to come say hi. You know, in the backyard nursery, there are several things that you have got to figure out how you're gonna deal with them long term. And one of those is weeds. I hate weeds. I mean, like, I hate weeds. And I think it was 2 summers ago, I had so many weeds and so many problems with weeds that I was just on the verge of wanting to quit doing this, and just because it's so aggravating. And you know, every time you look, your pots are being overran with weeds. And I don't just mean weeds growing inside your nursery pots, I mean weeds growing between your pots, where they completely overtake your nursery. Like, you look out, I mean, you look over here behind me and you kind of see a beautiful clean forest, green giant arborvitaes. Well, when you look over here and you see vines sticking up and you see weeds sticking up above the plants, it's just enough to make you want to throw your hands up in the air. So to get all this under control, I started using this woven ground cover, and this stuff has been a lifesaver. I mean, it just makes it so you spend very, very little time in your nursery actually weeding, which is, you know, if there's something that sucks the life out of you, whatever it is, get it out of your life or get it out of your nursery, and it'll go a long way towards helping you be successful. And this is what I've found that works really, really well. As you can see, this ground cloth, I think it took me about 15 minutes to put it down and kind of cut a piece around the tree. And you can put this down right on top of your existing grass. It will kill the grass under it. The grass under it won't grow up through it. And you know, I think sometimes it's easy to think that your grass is going to just come right up through it, and it just doesn't. It's really an amazing thing. From time to time, you'll have weed seeds that will germinate right on top of this stuff. And yeah, occasionally you have to rip a weed out here, rip a weed out there. But this is going to make your nursery, or your garden even, depending on what you're growing and how, 98, 99, if not 100% weed free. And it just makes an awesome ground covering. These things, over time, after you walk on them, even when it's wet, the ground underneath them gets firm, so you can walk on them when it's really wet outside without sinking down in it. And I just highly recommend using this to reduce, if not completely eliminate, the aggravation associated with weeds all over the place in your nursery. Now listen, if Penny could talk, here's what she would say. She would look you right in the eye. In fact, she'd come up really close like this, and here's what she would say. She'd say, "I hate weeds." That's what she'd say. So you have to figure out what you're going to do about your weeds. And I've shown you this today just as a very basic, really as an overview to show you This is one thing that's pretty much foolproof to do with weeds. Take your pots and sit them right on top of this. You're gonna have very, very, very few problems with weeds. Again, there's a link to a roll of this stuff below. You may want to check that out. And also, if you would, subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you a part of the Savvy Dirt Farmer channel. And aside from that, I love all of you. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.